It's a great day here in the city of Atlantic City. This is Deputy Chief Pierce. How may I help you?
After over 100 years, the Atlantic City Police Department has promoted its first female deputy chief. Bridget Pierce is now the highest-ranking female officer in its history. She is embracing her new role and gave us a first-hand look at her roots in this seaside gaming resort, which is her hometown and the city that she has sworn to protect.
Honestly, growing up here in Atlantic City is what made me. You know, it's such a melting pot of diversity, of culture. I think I was very lucky to grow up here. So this is the street I grew up on. This was once considered the worst street in Atlantic City, highest crime rate. But I wouldn't have changed my upbringing for the world. I loved growing up here. This is my home. Right here. My mom still lives here. My aunt, my cousins. That was my room up there. This was my church. This is where I was married, and my 3 kids were baptized in this church, St. Nick's. Beautiful old church.
Before the global COVID-19 pandemic hit the United States, Atlantic City was on the upswing. The casinos were busy and the local economy was bouncing back after the hospitality industry took a financial hit.
When everybody does their job together, more gets done.
Can you hold off on your 75 back 3 vehicles on a motor vehicle stop?
Pierce's historical promotion comes at a milestone in her career as a public servant. This month marks her 25th year in law enforcement. She's also seeing her use of force policy having a huge impact on the patrol division and the community.
December of 2013, Chief Henry White became chief, and one of his first orders of business was to revamp the way we did our IA process, take a look at our use of force and our statistics, and he put me in charge of that. So I started meeting with the Attorney General's office and their OLEPS department, which is a Office of Law and Professional Standards, and started coming up with a brand new policy on our early warning system. And through that, we have seen a decrease.
Or what is it now?
So now, if an officer has to use force on an individual to effectuate an arrest, that officer has to call for a supervisor. The supervisor responds, does an initial evaluation, which we call a SPAR. It's a supervisor's preliminary report, an arrest report type of thing, where they would look for video or witnesses and talk to people. Then they would make a recommendation, and that report was then sent to the next level of command, which we would call a MAR, which is a meaningful administrative review. So then that next level of review would see if they missed anything at the first. And it was done by a different supervisor, one who was not on scene. So through that process, I think our officers have become more diligent, and with our body cameras and in getting the information out there so that it's in real time, so that later on down the line, somebody can't say something happened that didn't, either on either side. And we always say it's like an objective bystander having that camera, because you'll see like snapshots, people might say, with a cell phone, but they don't record the whole incident. Now we're recording the whole incident.
With many achievements throughout her career, Pierce says her use of force policy and its success is her greatest and most meaningful contribution to the force and the community so far.
My most proud accomplishment as of being a police officer and through my career is our reduction in internal affairs complaints, excessive force allegations, and use of force incidents. And I honestly give the credit, although I may have implemented the policy or wrote the policy, I give the credit to the men and women of the patrol division who were taught something, they implemented it, they mastered it, and they are really the reason why our numbers have changed so dramatically.
Reporting in Atlantic City for New Jersey News Network, I'm Veronica Dudo.